Fortnite's reload has a huge loot pool, so what the heck should we run in zero build? Let's figure out what the best loadout is for friends or Phil in zero build. And don't forget to use my code camcrusha in the item shop. It keeps his videos going. Let's get into it. As we get started here, a couple things to note. Weapons are hit scan in this mode, except of course the sniper and the other projectile guns. This isn't Chapter 5, you're gonna get absolutely beamed, so be very aware of your cover and your surroundings. Head on a swivel, that sort of thing. And there are the exotics and mythics, but I'm gonna avoid talking about them. The odds of getting one are pretty low, and you can't keep your loot when you die. We could say here's the optimal loadout and call it a day, right? And heck, we don't even have the complete list yet. According to my viewers, the Mythic Havoc Pump and Sloan's Pulse Rifle are in the pool. I wonder how many of the Mythics and Exotics are in there. Some are under licensing agreements, like the Ambient Sniper or Venom's Grabber thingy, so we probably won't see those. But what about the Mythic Rapid Fire SMG or the Primal Mythic Shotgun? Those would be a lot of fun, right? Anyway, those things are a bonus and thankfully very hard to find, and you might not have it very long, so it's better to have a loadout you can get, right? We start off with everyone's favorite weapon type, the shotguns. Not a ton of variety here, but two very solid options. I think the best option here is the pump shotty. Reload gameplay is too fast-paced and time to kill is super important, and people are very good at dipping out in this game mode. Plus, later in the game there is less health and the pump becomes a one-shot a limb gun at that point. The tac shotgun is solid, but less damage per shot, but I get it if you want to run that over the pump instead. And it is really nice to be using those old versions. I've always loved them. The heavy is also the old version with pellets, not a slug. Still don't think it's a good option though. Ranger shotgun is nice for the longer ranges, but the reload is a big problem. And it was kind of a meh gun the last time we had it in Chapter 3. So yeah, 1 out of 10, don't recommend. What about the lever shotgun? Nice damage, but way too slow to use and reload, which sucks because the animation makes it a fun gun to use. It's kind of like going back to the X and then realizing why you broke up in the first place. I regret picking it up every single time unless I have to. Next up are the assault rifles. So much variety here. Everyone's favorites are represented, from the old school SCAR to the heavies to the newer stuff. The only thing, burst rifles are not in there except for mythics. I can't go wrong with the classic AR. It's the only rifle to stay in the pool from pre-season until the end of Chapter 2, by the way. But the one downside of it was that the purple and golds were a lot more accurate and had less bloom. So if it's blue or lesser rarity, it's not really any better than other choices. Remember how if you had a SCAR in your loadout, you were set? Like, you'd be farming extra mats just to upgrade to it. The infantry and heavy rifles are very solid, but again, like the classic AR, we run into that same rarity issue. You'll want the purple and gold. Meanwhile, the newer hammer assault rifle has more of a balance there. The blue and even the green ones aren't bad. But the big difference with that hammer is that it has very good accuracy, and the bloom resets very quickly. If you crouch spam while firing it, it's more accurate than the SCAR. I would even go as far as to say it's the SCAR 2.0 in zero build. I know, the mag size sucks, but the accuracy makes up for it. So for my money, I'm going hammer assault rifle in the loadout. And as a bonus, less players want it, so it's usually yours for the taking. What about long ranges? Sure, there is the sniper and the hunting rifle, but this mode isn't meant for those kind of fights, especially if they run long. A res is only 5 seconds, and unless you have the mobility to close the gap in that time and push that quickly, all you're doing is nickel and diming each other for small damage. You won't be able to snipe an entire squad out of the game. The opponents are more aware than in Fortnite pubs. And the longer a fight goes, the higher the odds of a third party. It's a small map. So both the classic AR/SCAR and the hammer AR are probably the best for the type of fights we get into in reload. Next slot is of course mobility. There is no way around this, you gotta carry it. I always recommend shockwaves over grapplers and pads, but hey, you get what you can, right? But definitely prioritize the mobility. Now we get into where things change depending on random fills or friends in zero build. I think the first 2 slots are good for both friends or randoms, but here's where things split like Drake and Kendrick Lamar fans. I think for random fills, the best plan is fend for yourself and don't assume your teammates will be carrying what the team needs. You'll be lucky if they have a mic or even stay in the game, am I right? On a side note, I don't get why people leave after dying in reload. It's so dumb. Anyways, so I recommend bunkers and then health and shields. Maybe run with more mobility if you don't have bunkers. No third weapon unless you want to run no health and rely on refresh loot. Or your rando teammates to die. They do drop minis after all. If you're lucky enough to have enough friends to squad up with, you have a lot more freedom with those 2 inventory slots. One of those should be for team utility. I think the best options are have the 1 to 2 most aggressive players carry the mobility, have the third carry bunkers, and the fourth is the medic running heals or shields. Preferably chug splashes, of course. They're in this mode. If you don't have 2 super aggro teammates, maybe that second one runs more bunkers. Like mobility, bunkers are an absolute must-have in reload. It's very difficult to win without them. So what about that last slot? That's up to you. Maybe a rocket launcher, or a sniper, or a hunting rifle, maybe even a pistol or SMG if you want to run shotgun SMG swap, or more mobility, more bunkers. That's up to you. You got a lot of freedom here there. Nice, dude. Let's go.
GG's.
So there we go, peeps. The best loadout for both random fills and a full squad of friends in Fortnite Zero Build. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like. Next video coming right up.